Okay, can you see my screen? Paul, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
All right. So can you just tell me what you want to do?
Oh gosh, now I forgot.
I don't have an
What I was looking to do was when you use things like the team,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the team sections of the design sets.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to set that up so that a client, as they add new team members or remove team members, can do it without going into the Oxygen page.
Okay.
And that's that's the kind of thing I was looking for. Yesterday, I was successful in building a calendar using CPTUI and advanced um, fields.
Yeah.
And I figured out going through a few different tutorials how to make it into a post page for the calendar, and that was fine. That's exactly what I was trying to do. So along that line, I'm trying to see how to use some of the other features, like the team members sections, to create them so the customer can add and remove.
Okay.
So I don't know if I would use the programs that are included in Oxygen or create them from scratch.
As you have observed, what is built into Oxygen is more like static, in the sense if you want to make any updates, you would need to go there and make changes. But if you want to make them dynamic, then ACF is the way to go.
Okay.
So what I can show you, if you're interested, is to use custom post-up UI plugin to register a team CPT, and then we can create some custom fields, like the something perhaps like the title, the position, or whatever, and
Okay.
attach that to the team member CPT, and show these things on the front end.
Okay. Go right ahead.
Okay, so this is my test site. I've already installed and activated both CPT UI and the free version of ACF. Just a sec. Okay, so let's create the post type slug. This is something that is equivalent to post or page in WordPress. And I'm gonna say team members and something like team member. Add post type. Okay, and now do you want to show the team members in the CPT archive page or some other page like the front page?
Probably in an archive page.
Okay, so in that case, what we need to do is to enable the archive functionality for the custom post type. So by default, you can see that that is set to false. I'm going to set it to true. And
Okay.
here you can specify your desired slug for the archive page. So I'm going to just leave it blank because that is going to use whatever is the slug we set here.
Mm-hmm.
So that is fine in this case, but sometimes you may want to add plural like S, and that is where you can change it.
Got it.
And if you notice, excuse me, we've got this extra meta field which is not really useful in this case. So I'm going to turn it off in Oxygen settings.
Okay.
So here we go to post type manager, and then you can select ACF field group, ACF field. Okay, so team fields and something like job about position. So that could be a text field. So what else do you want to show for each team member?
Well, it would be the picture, the name, their position,
Mm-hmm.
maybe short bio if necessary.
Okay, so the name is already there in WordPress. That is the title field, and picture is already there in WordPress. That is the featured image.
Got it.
The description or information about them is already there. That is the actual content of the custom post type.
So all you need is the title.
Yeah, is that the same as position?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Anything else that you want to add?
I guess if you wanted to add a phone number or a email address,
Okay, let's do that.
but adding extra fields there looks like it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, just add phone number, for example, and also email. And I'm gonna set it to the type email so that it'll do some, like validation.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have a phone type of thing field. No, that's okay. Okay, and we'll attach this to team member post type.
I guess you could always put the phone code, the clickable code in the content if the client really wanted to have it clickable.
This one that we have here, this phone number, we can actually make it clickable using code that I'm going to show in the next steps.
Okay.
And publish. So let's add a few team members. Okay. Team member 1. Copy. Put some code. And so let's say he's the managing director. And I'm going to put phone number as 0, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Email address is okay, and I will attach one featured image. We'll put some random image. Okay.
Yeah, I have a picture that I just found if you want it. It's just an outline, a silhouette.
Okay, is it this one?
No, it's none of the ones there, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, let's just use that.
Okay.
The ones that we download from these websites usually tend to be huge, directly from the camera.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna crop it to resize it down to something like 800 by 600.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 4,500 pixels wide. That's huge. I'm gonna make it 800 by 450. That should do. Okay, JPEG is fine. Team and photo. Save it. There. I use this program called Squash that optimizes the image.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, it is for Mac. Okay, anyway, let's close this, and let's go back, and I'm gonna drag and drop this here. And set it as featured image and publish. I usually use this plugin to make copies quickly.
Yeah, I use it too, actually.
It's quite good.
Yeah, I use the one to the right more than that.
Okay, review the settings. Go to permissions, and here we can select team members and save changes. Okay, close that. So let's go back to team members and duplicate a couple of times. Clone. Clone. Just do one more. Okay. So I'm gonna edit this guy. Change this to 2, and we'll just change one number at the end, just so we know that we're looking at the right one. Let's say admin assistant, whatever. Publish. Let's go back to all team members and change this to 3 and published. And this one would be 4 and published. Okay. So let's create a template in Oxygen for displaying the team CPT archive page. So I'm going to say team archive and set this to inherit from the main template. And I'm going to select archive and select the post type, team. And I'm going to set the template priority to 1, because if you don't do this, the generic archive template is going to be used.
I see.
Publish. And let's edit this with Oxygen.
You know, one of the problems that I seem to have when I'm trying to reformat the look of a post, of an easy post, it might click on the title, for example, and edit it. It never seems to work for me. When I try and change the font size or the color or even the font type,
okay,
it never seems to work for me.
Okay, we'll take a look now. I'm going to add easy posts, and we'll try to change these and see how it works. Okay, this has come up. So let's add a section, and I'm going to add the title of the archive, or we'll just do it manually. Let's call this team, or our team. Change this to a H1 is fine, but it's just huge. Let's how about 136. And I'm going to add one more section and add easy posts. All right, so we got the team members showing up here. So let's try to change the color of
6.3 kilometers.
the team member, the title of the posts. So here I'm going to styles and title, and I'm going to select the color. And you can see that it is changing here in the preview. Let's save it. Yeah, it seems to work here for me.
Yeah, I was doing it a different way, and that's what it wasn't working. When you
Okay.
click on the post,
You mean in the template CSS?
no, if you click on the post itself,
Okay.
and then you get the style output at the bottom.
Ah, that one. Okay, you have that. That is the selector detector feature.
Correct. Correct.
Oh, I see.
But I see that your way is a lot the correct way, so that's a lot easier too.
Yeah, because we have these options that are built into Oxygen for easy posts.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why the selector detector method is probably not working is because Oxygen is taking the styles from some whatever are set here or the defaults.
Okay, I got that. I
Yeah.
understand.
Okay. So let's try to add display the custom fields information in here.
Okay.
For each of these posts, we want the values of the meta, custom meta that we have added. So I'm going to go to primary and templates and template PHP. And just to make it easier, I'm going to copy this entire thing and put it in a text editor or a code editor.
Mm-hmm.
And set the syntax to PHP so that it will be easier for us to see and make some edits. Okay, so first thing that we need to decide is where do you want the custom fields to be appearing? Do you want that below the excerpt?
Probably right above it, I would say, or the phone number you can put below it. Yeah, sure.
Okay. In that case, we'll do one thing. We'll add the job title above the content first.
Okay.
Let's do that.
I guess one of the problems I was having is what are the names of the fields
I'll
in
tell
the
you.
PHP titles? Where do I get those?
Right. So what I'm going to do is go to the top of this file and add the opening PHP tag and closing PHP tag so that we are in the PHP mode, not HTML mode. And we need to fetch the custom fields. So if I you can get the names of the fields from the by editing the field group. So here it shows these names. These are the ones that we need to use.
Oh, okay.
So this position I've just copied, and I'm gonna say position, dollar position, that is just like a variable, and we'll say get field of position. So in this line, what I'm saying is go to the database and get the value of whatever is set for this field and store that inside a variable called position.
Okay.
I'm just going to repeat this a few times and get the others as well. Okay.
I understand.
Yeah. So we got these these three. Now we have the content here. So over here, I'm going to add a div and close the div. And I'm going to say position. And we need to display the value of that variable. So let's put this in strong to make it bold.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm just showing some HTML saying position, show it in bold, and within PHP, I'm saying echo or show or output, whatever is there in the position.
Got it.
So I'm gonna copy this entire code and replace that, like replace the current code with that. And here you can see that it is automatically fetching and displaying the corresponding value of that custom field.
I see. That was good. Okay.
I mean, if you want to like further style it, what you can do is to add some class to this div.
Right.
Like say class is equal to, let's say team meta. And then go to template CSS and add some CSS wherein you set the background color to something like gray, and add some padding of say 20 pixels all around, and give some border radius of let's say 4 pixels, and apply. And here you can see, and let's also add some spacing at the top of let's say 40 pixels. So I just quickly styled it so it looks a little decent.
I understand.
Okay. Now what we'll do next is to show this phone number also inside this box below the position, and then we will show the email address after the content. So
Okay.
for the phone number, we just duplicate that line and say phone number. Okay. Now the problem with, not necessarily a problem, but one small limitation with this is that it is just going to display the text of the phone number, but we want to make it clickable, right? So in such a case, what we need to do is I'm going to use PHP here, open and close PHP. And I'm going to write, use the function called printf. So this F stands for formatted. This function is going to output a formatted string. So printf. So if I simply say hello, it is just going to say hello. But one benefit of using this printf over echo is that we can use the placeholders. So if I say hello %s and give the name of this, whatever is here, let's say test. So it is going to replace this placeholder %s with whatever is supplied here. So it is going to essentially output hello test in this case.
Okay.
So I'm going to use this syntax and just change this to what I want to show. So I want to show ahref is equal to %s and %s. And so here you can see the first %s is basically where we need to specify the link, the hyperlink. So that will be tell, and then okay, you know what, let's do this. Tell %s. So this first value is phone number. This also is phone number. So what we are doing here is I'm saying set the hyperlink to, I'm using the TEL protocol, and this %s gets replaced with whatever is the first or the second parameter to this printf function. And this instance of %s, the second placeholder, is going to be the value of this one. Okay, so we need to add some paragraphs. So here you can see these are clickable now.
All right.
Okay, so can you go through the statement and tell me if there is anything that is not clear?
You know, I'm not a PHP coder, but I understand exactly what you've done.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of hand coding and or I built a lot of websites manually. Now I didn't use WordPress until the last year or so. Once I found out about Oxygen, and I've been doing everything in Oxygen now. But everything else I've always done has always been Dreamweaver.
Yeah, I mean, it'll take a little time if you are not familiar with PHP, but it kind of makes sense, at least if you go through the code and see what is happening.
Yeah.
You know, printf is basically like a function that outputs something, and inside that you can use some variables or placeholders, and the first %s is what is here, and the value of second %s will be replaced with whatever you supply here. So here I just added some HTML, and then it is outputting using this function.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah. So let's add the email address after the content.
Okay.
And I'm gonna copy this entire div and paste it after the excerpt and get rid of this position line. And here I'm gonna say email. So for the email, we need to use the mail to protocol. And email address. I think this should work. Let's copy and paste. Okay. So in this case, yeah, we got it working. The reason it is just the same is because I haven't changed it in the actual posts. But in this case, we want to add some margin actually at the bottom as well. So what I would do is that I would actually make this more generic by going to template CSS and saying set the margin to say 10 pixels at the top and bottom and apply. So that will be slightly better.
Nice.
Cool. And usually when you do these kind of custom post types, the author and commenting, it doesn't make sense.
Correct. I know how to take those out. I saw how to.
Yeah, we just need to go here and get rid of this oxy post meta
Right.
code. With the upcoming versions of version of Oxygen 3.0,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to write this code. You will be able to do this using just the interface.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
But that is the repeater component. That's a new component that is going to come up.
okay.
But at the moment, it is not 100% working properly. It only works in some cases.
Mm-hmm. I
If
saw
you want
the.
to,
I'm sorry.
if you want to see an example, a video of how that works, you can go to.
I saw Lewis's video on 3.0
Mhm.
and what they're doing, and it's just so above and beyond everything else
Yeah, that's right.
about it.
Okay, just a sec. Yeah, this one. If you go here, and I'm gonna give this link to you in Messenger, but you can click on this YouTube video and watch how we can display custom fields
Okay.
in the repeater visually using without writing code.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I was able to get the calendar to work.
Okay.
I said to myself, this is going to allow me to increase my rates as well, because I can just turn it over and give them so much more, the customer so much more than I could have done with buying plugins and things like that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, this was very kind of you to do. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, that's fine. And when you when you delete that oxipost meta in the PHP,
Uh-huh.
you can also come here in the CSS template CSS and delete this because you don't need all this.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's the basic idea. You need to know a little bit of PHP to be able to effectively output custom fields in templates at this time, but in the future, you will not need to know.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to 3.0.
Yeah, cool. Is there anything else that you would like to learn how to do?
No, just by you showing me how to do this, and explaining about the parts of oxygen that are static, that
Mm-hmm.
made a lot of sense. That cleared up a lot of things right there.
Yeah.
So that and this was very, very helpful in giving me a whole different view upon it. So thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. If you also need, if you feel that you need some more assistance or guidance in other aspects of using Oxygen, feel free to contact me. I'll try to help.
I will. Thank you for friending me the other day, and I will be joining your group that you're doing